Every once in a while, you come across a love story that shines so brightly, it reminds you of what is truly possible. Their journey began on a beautiful day in August 2023, when they stood before their loved ones and promised to walk through life together. Their wedding was a celebration of hope, a testament to a bond built on deep affection and shared dreams. They looked forward to a future filled with laughter, growth, the simple joys of building a home. Their love was a steady flame, warming everyone who came near. They were ready for whatever came their way, or so they believed, holding on to the strength they found in each other's arms. Just over a year later, in October 2024, their world expanded in the most miraculous way. Their daughter Audrey was born. Holding her for the first time was a moment suspended in time, a feeling of pure, unconditional love that filled every corner of their hearts. She was a tiny bundle of perfection. Joseph looked at Bernice, his heart overflowing with gratitude, and saw a new kind of strength in her eyes. The joy in their small apartment was palpable. It felt as if their life was a perfect song. And with Audrey's arrival, the most beautiful verse had just begun. The future seemed as bright and promising as a clear morning sky. The storm arrived without warning. It began subtly, almost unnoticeably, right after Audrey was born. Joseph's employer suddenly stopped paying his salary. At first, they thought it was an administrative error. 1 week turned into a month. The promised paychecks never arrived. Optimism gave way to gnawing anxiety. Their savings, meant for Audrey, began to dwindle. The once carefree home grew heavy with fear. Then life added another challenge. Bernice, still recovering from childbirth, grew ill and needed surgery. How could they afford surgery with no income? The weight felt crushing. Joseph looked at Bernice and saw pain. He resolved to do whatever it took. He spoke to friends. He spoke to family. He spoke to anyone who would listen. He sold what little valuables they had. He borrowed from compassionate souls. He pieced funds together, bit by bit, until there was enough for surgery. The surgery succeeded, but the struggle continued. For an entire year, the salary never came. Each day was a battle for survival. The bills piled up like mountains, yet they held on to each other. They found joy in who they had, each other. In the darkest of nights, even the smallest light can show you the way forward. For Joseph, that light came in the form of a borrowed laptop. He knew his old job was a closed chapter. Waiting for it was no longer an option. He had to create a new path for his family. The world was changing. Opportunities were now being born in the digital space. With a borrowed machine and a sliver of internet access, he began to explore online courses, learn a new skill, reinvent himself, build a bridge from their desperate present to a more hopeful future. For 3 intense months, that old laptop became his entire world. The nights were long. The days were a blur of responsibility and study. While Bernice cared for Audrey, Joseph pored over lessons, face lit by the screen. Every module he completed, every concept he mastered, each felt like a step closer to pulling his family out of the abyss. There were moments of doubt. Exhaustion was a constant companion, but when he felt like giving up, he'd look at Audrey sleeping peacefully in her crib, or see the unwavering belief in Bernice's eyes. Bernice brought him a cup of tea in the late hours, a simple gesture that said, "I see you. I believe in you." Finally, the day came when he completed the course and earned his certificate. It was more than a piece of paper. It was proof of perseverance. With a digital key to new possibilities, Joseph began applying for jobs online. He was ready for a new beginning. And then, it happened. An email landed in his inbox, an invitation for an online interview, then another. The certificate had opened doors that were previously locked shut. He interviewed with a company that was impressed by his new qualifications and by the story of his journey. They saw a man who did not crumble under pressure, but who used it to forge himself into someone stronger. He was offered a good job, a remote position that let him work from home close to the family. The moment he accepted the offer, a wave of relief washed over him and brought tears to his eyes. The change was almost immediate. The first salary that arrived felt like a miracle. It was a tangible symbol of their victory over hardship. The suffocating weight of financial anxiety began to lift. They could finally breathe again. The first thing they did was pay back the debts they had incurred. They filled their pantry, bought new clothes for Audrey, and even allowed themselves small treats. The laughter returned to their home, louder and more joyful than before. Life for Bernice, Joseph, Audrey became comfortable again, but they were forever changed. They were more grateful, more resilient, and more deeply connected to one another. Within each of us lies a reservoir of strength we discover when tested. Never, ever give up. Because as Bernice and Joseph discovered, the human spirit, when fueled by love, is truly unbreakable.